for him. I'm very funny. How it is. Put your hands together for James Morton. You guys give it up for James.
Thanks. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm James Morton. Facebook me. I'm originally from New York City, so coming to all right. Who is from New York City? Didn't think so. All right. So what I love about Grand Rapids is it means a little bit different things to different people. For instance, if you're coming from the east, it's like welcome to Grand Rapids. You're almost at Chicago. And then when you're coming from the west, it's like welcome to Grand Rapids. We're not Detroit. Don't worry. Which is very comforting. That was a big concern when I showed up to Michigan. I was like, man, Michigan, I hear pretty bad things, but I've never heard anything about West Michigan. And then I realized, essentially, bad things don't happen where there's a lot of white people. But I follow that up, not with a racist comment, just when you guys have no one to fight, you guys are peaceful, so it's cool. I feel comfortable. No, it's nice. Keep it down, Obama votes. Anyway, so coming to Michigan was a big transition. I mean, New York prepared me for life, or I thought it did, and I got here and I realized that some things that just didn't occur to me are your everyday life, your everyday struggle. One thing that comes to mind, drunk driving. So at home, we don't have designated drivers, we have sheep herders. Because the furthest, the closer we get to the road is really the end of the subway tracks. You just want someone to kind of herd you away from them so you don't fall in and, die. That's what happens when you fall in the train tracks. But here, I remember the first time I drunk drove. I don't drink and drive. The first time I almost drunk drove, I get in the car, put it in drive and go, I'm fucked up. This isn't right. And I just remember thinking, like, what will my family think? What will everyone I know think of me after this event? Then I got to my house and I was like, easy. So growing up in New York, I would have to say my experience wasn't like, oh yeah, went out to clubs all the time. Like, I left when I was 18. So, it wasn't really a nightlife. Sometimes I stayed up late, and watched Skinamax. But that was about the extent of it. But my mom, actually, I'm going to tell this next joke. The reason I'm in a suit is because my gay friends back home actually told me, dress nicely. And I told my mom, I was like, all right, I'm going to dress nice. She's like, oh, good. You know what, while you're up there, tell some Jewish jokes. As you may be able to tell by my complexion, I'm half Jewish. Just kidding. But I thought, Mom, I can't tell Jewish jokes. That's inappropriate. They don't know what Jews are. That's like going up and saying, hey guys, did you hear the one about the Eskimo? It's like, you don't know what an Eskimo is. It's like, your cousin knows one, but that's as close as you get to it. Because no one actually knows any of these people. And, obviously, overprotective mother, generic, same thing, boring. But my dad, here's the kicker. Whenever I go home to visit, I always try to do something with my family, go see a movie, do something. So on Christmas Day, for you Tarantino fans, what came out? Django Unchained. My dad's 90, so I didn't think that was gonna, fly with him, because you can't go see a movie about slavery with an ex-slave. It's like, that's not weird. That's like being like, hey, how's it going? Let's go watch a movie of all your bad days wrapped up in one. And he wins every political conversation we have. Because I'm like, man, you know what? I don't know what's going to go on. I don't think I'm going to vote this year. And he's like, oh, that's a nice option you have. He's like, how about waking up as a slave and you don't have that option? I was like, all right, I'm sorry. And by having that weird ex-slave vibe my entire life, all right, realistically, my dad was born in the 20s. It's one of those it's one of those decades you read about in history that you don't know anyone from. Yeah, that's where my dad's from. And so, growing up, for instance, the N-word. I feel like that's always a lesson black kids have to learn about. In my head, the way it works classically is your dad, brings you out to Chuck E. Cheese or somewhere else dangerous, and you just hang out. And he sits you down and he's like, son, I'm going to tell you about a really important lesson. The N-word's not funny. What N-word? naughty? And he's like, well, naughty's not funny, but I mean nigger, son. And with my dad, he sat me down and he goes, James, I'm not gonna lie to you. They've changed our name so many times in my life, I don't know what to call us anymore. When I was born, it was nigger. Then it became Afro-American, then it became black, then it went to African-American, then it became black, and then Jay-Z brought back nigga, and I don't really know what to call you, so just fill other out on your application. And that works well for me. You know, I like that, And there was also my grandmother, who, if anyone here is Hispanic, really? One? All right. She must be working in the kitchen. Well, my grandma is a big part of my life. A lot of, extended family, big part of my life. And actually, like, not funny. My grandmother has actually been showing signs of Alzheimer's, which, as for those of you that, God forbid, are touched by this ailment, it's not fun. It's pretty tragic. But on the plus side, you can re-gift every holiday. I've actually formulated, I have a card that's just blank, and it just says, I love you, Grandma. And I leave the date off, and just keep putting it in envelopes every holiday. She hasn't picked up yet. I know I'm going to hell, but whatever, you're all laughing, so fuck it. Getting ready for tonight, I was talking to some of my friends back home, and all of my best friends at home are gay. I know what you're thinking. When's he going to come out? Not tonight. And they were saying, you know what? Dress nice, because at the very least, maybe you'll find a lady friend there. And then I asked them, how would you know how this works? And they were just like, James, all right, let's face it. You see a well-tailored suit, they'll see a 9-inch cock. And I'm like, all right, cool. Where do I get the other 5 inches from? I don't know what that's because I'm half Puerto Rican, and that's the half that. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I make up for it, but, it's fucked up. And coming to Grand Rapids has been weird for the dating game, just because I showed up when I was 22. So, for those of you that are West Michigan natives, I was like too old to marry at that point, because showed up and everyone was either, to be fair, over 22, there are 2 types of women here, and I'm sorry if I offend you, go fuck yourself. On one end, there are the married. Congratulations, go fuck yourself. Then, on the other end, there are the not married, but you got knocked up. Sorry, I'm in grad school, not picking up that bill. So, as soon as I go up to the bar, it's like, hey, nice to meet you. How old are you? 18. All right, back it up. And I mean, all right, coming to Michigan has kind of given me a change in taste, just because you kind of work with what you have. And I'm not gonna say I have a thing for younger girls, but I've wiped my dick off on a few teddy bears in my day. Is all I'm saying. All right, my name is James Morton. Thank you very much.